Bill, we are very happy to have you here.
Thank you, Teresa. I'm happy to be here.
So Bill, tell us about how you live a holy life.
How do I live a holy life? For me, the answer is pretty simple, and that's live life like Jesus did. I believe that God sent Jesus down to this earth as an example for the human race to live their life. And, Jesus is a model for everyone. And, as easy as that answer, may seem, it's actually very tough. And that's just because we aren't perfect. And I feel like something that Jesus did that we can all do in our lives is love. And, for me, that's the number one thing. And I have a daughter, Caitlin. She's 12 years old right now. And a couple years ago, we lost my wife, her mother, to cancer. And that was very tough on our family. Just having to go through that, really did hit Caitlin the worst. And for me, I was just praying every day, reading my Bible, just really trying to be there for my daughter. And I feel like through that love that I expressed to her, and through the love that I felt from God, we were able to go through that tough time. So, for me, the answer is love, and yeah.
Okay, so in what ways does that help you heal? And is that hard seeing others suffer when you yourself has suffered in the past?
Well, for me, my healing came from God, because although, you could say, oh, he took my wife away from me. I don't really look at it that way. I think that God has a plan for everybody, and sometimes we may not like the answer that He has to give us, but His ways are above our ways, and His thoughts are above our thoughts. And so sure, it was tough. But for me, it was something that I didn't really. I had to be there for my daughter, so I didn't really feel all that suffering. Now seeing others suffer, it is hard because, you don't know their backstory, you don't know what they've been through in their life. And, going back to Jesus, what you can do is show them love. And whether they accept it or not is their choice. But, just showing them love. And, actually, my daughter and I, we go down to cancer patients and, excuse me, and when we go down there, we actually help them out. And, it really is tough seeing them suffer, but, knowing what they've been through, it's easier to help just because, we've experienced that. So, I guess you could say that's where I see suffering, but, I find my love through God.
And besides volunteering at the hospital, how do you instill Catholic values into your daughter's life?
Well, number one, I just try to instill in her to love and that we're all not perfect. Jesus was perfect, and that's why He is the perfect model. No pun intended. Whether that was a pun, I don't know. I'm sorry. When I try and have humor, it doesn't really work. I don't know if you can tell. So anyways, what was the question?
How do you instill Catholic values in your daughter's life?
Alright, I'll try and get back on topic. So number one, actually, I find that reading the Bible with her is great, just because, showing her how Jesus lived, and, the way I live my life, I feel like I try and set that example. And of course, I'm not perfect, and that's why I bring Jesus into the equation. And, we pray before every meal, and whenever I tuck her into bed, we say a prayer, and we do all these great things, but in the end, I can only guide her so much. It's going to be her choice whether or not she wants to follow up with my guidance.
And do you have any advice to give to those who want to live a holy life and to those who are suffering?
Number one, you have to realize that you're not perfect, so don't try and be. Number two, pray. Number three, read the Gospels, read about Jesus, and love.
Thank you very much, Bill.
Thank you very much, Teresa.